Hello, I'm Mike Cal. I'm with BD Construction. Today, if you've listened to the first couple episodes, you know that Paige Gade, an attorney with Rembo Luthia, shared a lot of insight with us about the government programs and the funding that's been available. And so she's going to now today share a little insight on the Paycheck Protection Program and tax credits and how those programs can assist your facilities.
Now, you mentioned the Paycheck Protection Program. I think that's the thing that most people hear when they hear of the CARES Act or they think about. Talk a little bit about that, what it means.
Sure. So the Paycheck Protection Program was a loan program that was passed as part of the CARES Act that is essentially meant to be a forgivable loan to help employers cover their payroll costs. And these loans are also available to individuals who are self-employed and independent contractors. But the advantage of these loans is that they're eligible for 100% forgiveness if the borrowers meet certain requirements. Paycheck Protection Program loans are specifically meant to be used on payroll costs, rent expenses, mortgage interest payments, and utility expenses. And if at least 60% of the payroll protection program funds that a borrower receives are applied to payroll costs, the loan is eligible for 100% forgiveness, assuming that they also maintained their workforce throughout the term of the loan or throughout the term of the proceeds. The purpose of the Paycheck Protection Program was to keep employees on payroll throughout this period of time that businesses were forced to be shut down and doors were closed, and was really another incentive to keep employees employed.
So you mentioned the employer tax credits that are available. Can you speak to that a little bit? Because I think that's something that we've also heard some questions about.
There are two main employer tax credits available under the coronavirus relief packages. And the first is the Employee Retention Credit, which was introduced in the CARES Act. And it serves a lot of the same purposes as the Paycheck Protection Program loan, in that it's an incentive for employers to keep their employees on the payroll. However, borrowers who receive Paycheck Protection Program loans cannot take this tax credit. So essentially, you get a tax credit if you maintain your payroll. In Paycheck Protection Program loans were limited, and there may have been a reason why you were ineligible to apply. The Paycheck Protection Program loan was limited to small businesses since it's administered by the Small Business Administration. And so that employee retention credit kind of fills a gap for those that were unable to receive a Paycheck Protection Program loan. The second tax credit is available under the Families First Coronavirus Response Act. And that act was meant to address concerns that employers had if employees were required to self-quarantine, if they were presumptively positive or actually positive for COVID-19. And so this allows employers to take a tax credit for up to 80 hours per employee if that employee was taking paid time off to either quarantine themselves or to take care of a family member who was quarantining.
If you get the Paycheck Protection Program, are you allowed to take advantage of the second?
That's a great distinction. Thanks for that question. You are. So having a Paycheck Protection Program loan does not make you ineligible for that tax credit that's available under the Families First Coronavirus Response Act. That's correct. And a lot of the same theme is present throughout a lot of the relief, is they didn't want to allow any borrowers or anybody who received any sort of relief under the Coronavirus Relief Acts to double dip, so that the relief could really be as spread far as possible.